Hey guys, what's going on? Just wanted to do a quick overview video here on this ZT knife that I got in. So what we have today is the ZT-0909 Les George design, who's a famous custom knife maker. This particular box says orange G10, but this is black, so this is not the original box here, obviously. And it appears that this knife was originally sold by our friends at GP Knives. They're a great retailer. Go check them out if you're looking for some knives. So, I almost wasn't going to do a review on this knife, or overview, because really, this knife is kind of more the same of what we've seen from ZT, in that they have really mastered the formula of these heavy-duty flipping knives, with thick steel liners, relatively thick blade stocks, but, flipping designs with either, steel liner locks, titanium frame locks, and, kind of heavy-duty hardware, as we can see here on this particular 0909. So, we'll go ahead and get into it here and just talk about some of the specifics. But first I want to say, if there's anyone out there, and I'm speaking to knife manufacturers, custom manufacturers, if you were interested in the mechanics behind making a good flipping knife, look at ZT. They have mastered the formula for a flipping knife. Their knives flip super easy. Better than Hinderer knives, better than knives costing 2-3 times the amount. ZT gets it right with their flipping designs. They're easy to use. There's no strange issues of, you have to push it in a certain button, or push it in a certain place, and, squint your eyes and cross your toes to get it to come out. It's just really simple. Put your finger on here, press, boom. Blade comes out, it's fast, smooth. Well done there. So, so what do we have here with the 0909 is a 3.8-inch blade, which is gorgeous. Love the blade, probably the best on this knife. Has a light stone washing there, which I think you guys can see. And of course, it's wearing my mirror edge here, which came out very nice. Get this to focus a little there for you guys. And this is an S35 VN steel, which is a really good all-around, everyday carry workhorse steel. Holds a good edge, has good toughness, isn't really terrible to resharpen, is stainless. Pretty much everything you'd want in a everyday use steel. From what I understand, S35 VN is, kind of the successor to S30V. And from what I gather, this is the steel that Chris Reeve and folks were really trying to design the first time. So S30V was not exactly the correct formulation that they wanted when they tried the first time, but it's a good steel. And I've heard them say that S35 was kind of the steel that they had envisioned the first time, and it took them a couple times to hit the mark. So anyways, back to the knife here. So about 3.8-inch blade, gorgeous, sweeping belly, really nice there. Standard black G10 handles, provides medium to low grip. They're actually kind of smooth on this knife. We have steel liner lock here on this knife, very thick steel liner lock. And one of the things I'm going to knock on this knife is the liner lock itself. So this corner right here, guys, is it's very sharp, even though it's slightly chamfered. I don't know if you can see that there. It's kind of recessed, and to get your thumb in there, it's not super easy. It kind of digs into your thumb a little bit, and to actuate that lock, it's not super comfortable on the finger, but that may be part of the design. That if you look at the knife from this side, that liner lock is not really protruding any, therefore, you wouldn't really have any risk of accidentally disengaging the lock if you're doing some hard cutting with the knife. But I think they could have done this a little bit better, in my opinion. But it's not bad. It's not a deal breaker. Lock is smooth. Action on this knife is smooth. See if I can show that to you there. But open her up, and very smooth. So that's good. Another criticism, I guess, of this knife is the weight. So with these full steel liners, they are not skeletonized. You can see in there, there's a slight cutout on this side, but it has more to do with the liner lock. I don't know if you can see that there, just below the pocket clip. But for all intents and purposes, these are full steel liners, and consequently, the weight on this knife is 7.5 ounces, which is pretty darn heavy for a Foley knife, considering knives like Spyderco Parametal 2, military. You're all sub 5 ounces, sometimes sub 4 ounces on knives like those for equal size and capabilities. So that's kind of a downside there. The last thing I'm going to kind of say about this is this pivot hardware is ridiculous. I don't know whose idea it was to say we're going to put a 10 millimeter hex bolt on the pivot of our knife and make it look, I don't know, rough, tough, like it's a machine or something. Aesthetically, I don't hate it, but functionally, I kind of dislike it, because if you look at the knife, look how much that protrudes. So essentially, you have increased the thickness of the knife by, what is that, 2-3 millimeters? So this entire scale might as well just be as thick as the top of, this particular fastener. So I don't know whose idea that was, but I think it's just really ridiculous. They would have been much better off having a normal hardware, have it recessed, have it be flush with the G10. That would have really improved just the pocketability of this knife, I think. When you put it in your pocket, you don't have this kind of protrusion sticking out. You can see here on this side, the female side of the pivot there is flush and smooth. And I really think this just sticks out, for no real reason other than to look tough or something, I guess. But, whatever. I've seen this on some other knives they have. I think they have some Emerson collaborations that also use this, kind of hex nut, pivot hardware, which is, whatever. I will mention this clip is not stock. So this is an aftermarket titanium deep carry pocket clip that my particular customer put on this knife. And I was talking with him about it, and he says he doesn't really like it because it sticks up so much and kind of creates a hot spot in the hand. And I would have to agree with that. When you're holding this knife with this deep carry clip, it really creates a hot spot and sticks up. And I'll just touch on my thoughts on deep carry clips in general for a second. And the cliff notes is that I don't like them. For another reason, look how much this increases the width of the knife and, sticks up kind of funny. And again, creates hot spots and really doesn't vibe with the overall, ergonomics and grip that this knife was designed with. So when this knife was designed, the overall grip and feel was sort of dialed in, including the pocket clip. So that was part of the equation. So when you go ahead and start putting, aftermarket deep carry clips on things like this, yes, you do gain a little, deeper ride in the pocket, but, to gain, that much, like maybe a half inch of, more concealment, it's just not worth it to me. So I think my customer agreed that, they were going to switch the stock clip back on there because he didn't really care for it either. So, closing thoughts. What do I think overall? So this knife I looked today is about $180. So you're getting 3.8 inches of S35 VN, Steel liners, flipping design, 7.5 ounces. I think it's a relatively good value. It's not great, but it's not bad. Grind is pretty good. It's fairly thin here behind the edge. Again, the flipping design is really great, really superb on this knife. So if you're into kind of heavier, larger, tactical type folding knives, this could be the knife for you. So before I forget, let's go ahead and do a little cut test here. So I know you guys like to see these, how this edge came out, and I think, let's bring it up just a tad here. Wrong way, Greg. Okay, here we go. Alright, so how's the edge here? How'd we do? Let's find out. Oh yeah. Good slicer. Very good slicer. I don't know if you can hear that. That's pretty quiet there, guys. Do a couple more here. Smoking sharp. So I think my customer will be happy with this knife. This is one of his babies, as he put it, so I think he'll be quite happy with the edge that came up on this knife for him. So hope everyone out there is having a good start to their 2017. I think it's going to be a fun year, for the knife world, and my little knife channel that I have here on YouTube. I have some interesting knives coming here pretty soon that I think you guys are going to enjoy. So, as always, thank you for watching. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.